here at home, the unrest in Portland continues to rage out of control. Antifa terrorists are destroying government. Oh, wait, that's the White House. Oh, that's what Trump did on purpose, without permission, to the White House. I told you we should have made him put down a security deposit. Over the summer, Trump announced he was going to build a big, beautiful ballroom, but promised it would not in any way affect the structure of the White House. And then he demolished the White House.
The president has time to do everything but what he needs to focus on. In fact, we heard the press secretary say that his main priority is the ballroom that no one asked for, the ballroom that requires him to destroy historic pieces of the White House. And so it doesn't seem like he's interested.
Trump's week kicked off the same way it always does, loud, erratic, and destined to end with a headline that sounds like a rejected sketch from late-night TV. But this time, Jimmy Kimmel and Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett weren't just watching from the sidelines. They turned his latest blunder into live political theater, roasting him with precision and humor that cut deeper than any press briefing. What began as another chaotic Trump spectacle ended like a Shakespearean farce equal parts tragedy and punchline, leaving even his staff wondering whether to clap, cry, or call in sick.
Here, kind of lumbers past the flags. He salutes the drapes. I don't know what he's saluting. Keep going, Mr. President. We need you to keep moving along. Now he's just bored. Now he's like, what the hell am I doing? I'm missing Sean Hannity for this.
Thank you so much, Madam Ranker, and thank you so much to our witnesses for being here today. You know, I've sat and I've listened, and what my colleague, Mr. Krishnamurthy, just talked about was just blatant racism. Like, I'm gonna just call a thing a thing. Like, this administration is racist.
Trump, the self-proclaimed showman, has managed to turn the presidency into a mashup of a rally, a reality show, and a therapy session gone wrong. Kimmel, armed with his trademark sarcasm, dismantled the absurdity one contradiction at a time. Meanwhile, Crockett lawyer, Congresswoman, and chaos disassembler broke down his logic like a cross-exam she's been waiting years to deliver. Together, they exposed the real performance art of his presidency, orchestrating outrage, selling confusion, and calling it strategy.
President tell the public he was going to tear down the entire East Wing, which, as you know, is a part of the People's House.
I think this was a judgment call on the president. The president is a master builder. You know, I don't know. I assume that maybe parts of the East Wing, could have been asbestos, could have been mold.
Could have been some old Chinese food, could have been ghosts.
His empire was never built on policy, it was built on branding, gold logos, loud promises, and a never-ending highlight reel of trust me moments that fade faster than his attention span. But Crockett wasn't fooled by the glitter. She stripped the illusion bare, revealing a president running America like a rigged casino, flashy lights, no payout. Every speech sounds recycled, every promise reissued, every scandal just the remix of one we've already survived.
Like he's interested. It is my hope that his friends start calling him Jeff Bezos when those Amazon planes are not flying. Hopefully, he will listen to them, because he's not listening to the pain that the American people are suffering through. As again, you played a clip and he said everybody's going to be in good shape. Who was it?
Kimmel, from his late-night command post, pointed out the obvious: Trump has made chaos boring. When every crisis becomes predictable, dysfunction becomes normal. He doesn't lead, he narrates his confusion with confidence. Crockett, on the other hand, brought fury with purpose. She reminded viewers that while Trump tweets grievances, Americans are still waiting for solutions. It's like the worst group project ever, where the loudest guy insists he's doing all the work, while everyone else carries the load.
Less like a president and more like a property brother. He blew up the East Wing. He redecorated the Oval Office. He paved over the Rose Garden. He added a golden hall of presidents, and he isn't done.
This house was not taken care of the way it was supposed to be. I take very good care of property. You'll notice the floors downstairs. I paid for them. Marble, the most beautiful marble.
The sting of their takedown wasn't just in the jokes, it was in the accuracy. Trump's presidency runs on performance fumes. Crockett simply popped the hood. His press briefings resemble stand-up sets without punchlines, and his plans operate entirely on nostalgia. Yet somehow, his base keeps cheering like the bloopers are bonus footage. They've mistaken energy for excellence and chaos for charisma.
Hungry, which people were already hungry in this country. We have not done right by those that have been struggling, because $6 a day to eat doesn't fix it. And you say everybody's going to be in good shape as you are putting more money into your son's pocket, as you are saying that we should take American taxpayer dollars and put them in your pocket to the tune of $280 million.
Kimmel didn't pull punches, calling it what it is, a presidency powered by spite, applause, and self-delusion. His critique landed harder because it came with evidence. He listed the broken promises, the revolving staff door. The investigation stacked higher than his ego. Each scandal blends into the next until accountability looks like improv. Trump doesn't need exaggeration, his life's already satire. Together, Kimmel and Crockett turned dysfunction into a masterclass in comedic exposure. They didn't just mock the madness, they mapped it. Every inflated claim, every grievance, every spin became part of the monument to his own unraveling. Trump doesn't distort truth, he performs it like a magician who forgot the trick.
Floors down in the palm room, the most beautiful floors, the most beautiful lights and chandeliers, and now it's starting to gleam like it should. It'll be the most beautiful ballroom anywhere in the world, I think.
Wait a minute. Is it possible that he's planning to sell the White House? Fix it up and flip it on us? Marble, the most beautiful marble. He talks like it's an episode of Love It or Live It.
Crockett cuts through chaos like a surgeon with no patience for theatrics. She's immune to bluster, allergic to spin, and unbothered by his bravado. When she targets hypocrisy, it's precision work. She revealed how Trump governs through grievance, turning every critique into personal drama. The presidency has become one long audition for sympathy. Kimmel treated that dysfunction like the slapstick it is, comparing Trump's White House to a bad sitcom where the plot makes no sense and the writers quit mid-season. The result? A tragicomedy of power. Crockett wasn't laughing, she was diagnosing. America, she implied, has confused noise with progress and outrage with leadership. Trump didn't create the circus. He just monetized the tickets.
He has always been a racist, and that is what we are enduring in this country. Let me give you some facts behind this racism. And they get mad when I say the things that I say, but I will not stop speaking the truth. Number one, I said that what we were experiencing in this country felt like what I would imagine slave patrols to look like. And frankly, anybody that knows anything about slave patrols, this is exactly what it was like. We're talking about lawless people that are going around with no warrants or anything, and it's all about rounding people up and...
Kimmel turned that realization into a perfectly timed punchline, while Crockett delivered the closing argument. Together, they weren't just dismantling his image, they were dissecting the system that props him up. Ironically, Trump feeds on this attention. Every roast becomes proof he's the victim, but Crockett and Kimmel flipped it. They turned his persecution complex into a parody. The Emperor of Chaos exposed, still insisting he's fully dressed.
Get him around the plate. It reminded me of something. I was trying to think, what did that remind me of? Yes. That's right. The Westminster Dog Show. It's a very similar event. He and that terrier have the same hairstylist for years. The Prime Minister pulled out all the stops for Trump. She nominated him for a Nobel Peace Prize. She had the World Series on TV for him. She even gave him some gifts.
Each segment stripped away another illusion. Kimmel turned Trump's chaos into poetry, an anthem for leadership by impulse. Every decision feels improvised, every justification rehearsed after the fact. Crockett calmly outlined the fallout. Behind every distraction lies a cost, missed chances, broken trust, policies that vanish on impact. The laughter shifted from mockery to relief, a collective sigh from a country running on fatigue. Kimmel joked that Trump's strategy is simple: stay louder than the truth. Crockett built on it, explaining that volume replaces substance when outrage becomes the currency of power. The chaos isn't random. It's engineered confusion, keep everyone dizzy. And no one asks questions.
By heart by the end of the night. There was incredible game-saving plays at third, at the plate, on both sides. It went on, and it was like one of your mother's voicemails. Every time you thought it was finished, it kept going. But then Freddie Freeman came to bat in the bottom of the 18th. 10
11:50 in Los Angeles.
Crockett turned humor into a warning. When the presidency becomes performance, democracy becomes the audience. Their roast worked because it stripped away the illusion of competence. This wasn't just about Trump, it was about the enablers, the apologists, and the audience still clapping. Kimmel's satire peeled off the mask, and Crockett dismantled the foundation beneath. Their dynamic was a rare blend of comedy and clarity. transforming late-night laughter into civic therapy. Every joke came with documentation. The botched rollouts, the ethics lapses, the endless scandals, each one turned into a punchline backed by evidence. Trump's presidency has become a parody of itself, fact-checkers doing triage, while comedians write history in real time. The absurdity isn't exaggeration anymore, it's reportage. Kimmel and Crockett didn't need props. Reality is their script. What once felt like hyperbole now reads as understatement. Crockett ended with the truth that lingers: the danger isn't in what Trump hides. It's in what America tolerates.
Got all the stops for Trump. She nominated him for a Nobel Peace Prize. She had the World Series on TV for him. She even gave him some gifts. She gave him a golf bag signed by a Japanese golfer and gave him a putter once owned by the late Prime Minister Abe. Unfortunately, he no longer has anywhere to put that putter because all his closet space.
When the laughter died down, what remained was recognition. The silence felt heavier than applause. Kimmel's smirk lingered like punctuation. Crockett's stare carried the exhaustion of a nation stuck in reruns. Together, they turned comedy into commentary, jokes into justice. The show ended, but the pattern didn't. Every scandal bleeds into the next like a never-ending improv set. Trump's presidency has become an endless encore, a performance that refuses to close. Kimmel plays the critic reviewing the worst show still renewed, while Crockett plays the analyst explaining how every disaster is part of the design. Trump's contradictions aren't accidents, they're tactics. Each scandal isn't mismanagement, it's misdirection. Keep the public outraged and the system too tired to fight back.
You know, I don't know what it says. I mean, it is very hard to say that you can predict anything when it comes to this White House, especially when it comes to this particular president. I will tell you that, you know, it seems like he's not on the same page with the Republicans. We know that here recently, he basically said, hey, just go ahead and explore the nuclear option. You know, they've been trying to blame this on the Democrats the entire time, when those of us who understand how things work, they have exploited the nuclear option more than once. And I'm not suggesting
The absurdity survives because the audience does. Outrage is routine, disbelief is old news. America's politics now move like entertainment. Tease, trend, repeat. Crockett exposes the rhythm, how nothing new ever breaks, just reboots. Kimmel lands the humor, showing how the jokes stopped being funny once real lives were on the line. Together, they turn satire into autopsy. Laughter becomes clarity's last defense. They don't find Trump amusing, they find him revealing. He's what happens when branding replaces governing, when chaos becomes a business model. Each joke feels like a warning wrapped in a laugh. Unchecked absurdity becomes law. What makes their critique sting isn't the exaggeration, it's the precision. This presidency is a carousel of contradictions spinning too fast to escape. Kimmel mocks the loops. Crockett explains the psychology. Confusion as control. Noise as power. The chaos isn't incompetence, it's choreography.